Yeah, so today what we have is the area codes, the conspiracy theory behind them, and what you should know, okay? No, not really what you should know, but who made them, okay? But who made the area code, okay? That was pretty interesting to me, okay? And it seems like there's no rhyme or reason behind them because they just don't match up anywhere across the United States. Left to right, bottom, east, north, south, west, everything. So it got me questioning, why are the area codes so random? Okay? So I was like, man, this seems weird. All right. So what I did was I did some good old-fashioned research. And then what happened was I came up with how the area codes actually came about. So the area code actually came about with the rotary phone, when the rotary phone was invented. So the rotary phone was actually established back in 1904, but was actually patented in 1894, okay? So it took them a little while to roll them out, but the rotary phone that we had for probably, 80 years or so, or it was still 1960, so about 60 years. But the rotary phone, as we had it, was, produced in 1904. By the 1920s, in America, we actually ended up having the rotary phone in most households. So it became pretty popular in the United States in 1920s, okay? And by the 1940s, it was over 75% of American households had the rotary phone in their house. So, to take that into account, if you don't know how the first phone systems actually worked, was by a switchboard, and the switchboard had to be manually inputted. So you'd pick up your phone that has no dial tone, like nothing, you pick it up and it ring, 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 ring.
Yes, hello.
Hey, can you patch me to Stephen? Damn, where does he live again? Hon, where does Stephen live? Oh, that's right, Kansas City.
Sure, Kansas City, no problem.
Anyway, 5 minutes later, you get to talk to Steven, okay? But there was a lady in there. I'll put a picture in right now for you, okay? So there was a lady in there that was doing a switchboard operation. So she would plug in to where you needed to go. If it was out of state, she would plug into the city that was either that city or the closest nearby city that could plug you in there. So it would take a while to call long distance. So if you're calling from Ohio to Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, go Chiefs. Yeah. I don't know. I don't follow football. Why did I even say that? That was weird. Anyway, so if you call Kansas City, it would take a while. They had to patch you through. Anyway, let's not go off on another tangent. But so as they patched you through, they would get you to who you needed to talk to. Anyway, the guy in Italy that invented the rotary phone was like, man, there's got to be an easier, simple way. So that's what he did. He invented the rotary phone. And what the rotary phone did was, by each tone of the rotary, so it'd be so if you did 1, it'd be ring. But if you did say 9, which was all the way down and around, it'd be so it picked up on the sounds, the signals, stuff like that. So what had happened was, in the 1920s, they started to fade out the switchboard operators, right? And AT&T pretty much, started the switchboard company and all this, and the operators. And at first what was weird that I read was, first they had teenage boys being the switchboard operators. Could you imagine today? You'd have to call, you'd pick up your phone, be like, hey, yeah, can I speak, can you get me to Jessica? She lives over on 10th Street. Ma'am, we're not gonna do that, okay? No, but it just doesn't work. So they figured that out too. These unruly teenagers, yeah, like you, if you're watching this, you're unruly. No, you'll be a good kid. I know you will. okay? Especially you. You know who you are. If you're watching, you'll be a good kid, I promise. Especially if I have anything to do with it, alright? I'm not going to take your shit. But anyway, so they faded out the boys, and they brought in girls, and because they had more of a nurturing mother, thing, nurturing. I can't think of the damn word for it. Mentality, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, they appear to be more nurturing. Okay, so when they became more, the switchboard operators, it lasted, a good 20 years or so, and then they slowly started fading them out because what they did was they needed to implement a way to locate each city just from you on your cell phone or your landline at the time. So on the rotary phone, they needed to figure out exactly how to locate that city. So say New York, I need to call New York. So we have to think of numbers that we can call New York City with. But they could not have sequences of ones behind the first number. So they couldn't have 211, 311, because those were reserved for official use. So you can't be calling 911, 304, blah, 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 because it would just immediately be like, yeah, this is the police department. Can we help you guys? Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to dial the area code. I didn't dial it fast enough. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're gonna send a unit out to your house. We got your number here, so we're just gonna send a unit out to your house, okay? No, I'm just telling you, we were doing that, and then you were in there murdering somebody, okay? And you were just trying to call your buddy to come help you clean up a murder, and now look what happened. You done called the police on yourself, so nobody wanted that, okay? Not necessarily for that reason, but it was reserved for official use. So with the official use, you can't do that, okay? And none of them could start with the number 1, okay? Because that was reserved for, is what they call a trunk access code, which is a secure line for, my understanding, it's the government, okay? Like, our government has a secure line and we can't do nothing about it. But anyway, so the secure line for the government was supposedly 1, and I think Canada said that theirs was 0. But anyway, so you can't start it with a 1, and you can't have sequences of 1 after the first number. So if you don't know what a rotary phone actually looks like, it has a dial, and it goes from 1 to 0. I will throw up a picture now. Can you see it? Okay, good. You can see it now. God, it'd be weird if I didn't even put it in there. Just be like, I can't find a picture. But anyway, so that's what the rotary phone looks like. As you can see, it goes from 1 all the way to 0. So they actually had us in mind whenever developing this, because they actually, figure that, AT&T fucking had their customers in their mind when creating something. Anyway, let's snap back. Okay, snap back to reality. Oops, there goes Jared. He's off on a tangent again with the ADHD brain. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why my brain operates that way. Anyway, okay, so they wanted to figure out the easiest way to dial the cities, but they wanted to start with the most popular cities and go from there, because they wanted to have it where whatever cities was getting calls the most, that it would be easy to dial on the rotary phone. Because you got to imagine, back then they weren't thinking, oh, they'll have a computer in their pocket later down the road, so let's just make them in order. No, they were thinking, oh, well, I want it to be easy to call New York City, okay? But that's the first one that they actually did implement. So on the rotary phone, what you have is you have 212. So for New York City, the shortest area code and quickest area code to dial on the rotary phones would be 212. Okay? So that made it pretty simple for the rotary phones, essentially. So that's how they went about labeling the cities with the area codes and then I think Los Angeles, I believe, was the next one where they did 2, 1, 3. Okay, so the 213 was Los Angeles. Okay, and all these were easy to dial, were the easiest to dial within the parameters. I think the next one after that was Orlando, which was 321, and so on. Okay, so actually they had us customers in mind whenever they created the area codes, and of course probably to benefit them too. They were like, you know what? They were probably just sitting around the table like, man, we got to figure out how to come up with area codes. It's got to be a 3-digit number to locate the city. So let's see here. What are we going to do? Okay, yeah. We got it. Okay, because I call New York a lot, right? Yeah. What you probably call Los Angeles a lot too, right? Man, what does this have in common? Oh yeah, they're very popular cities. That's how we can do this shit. All right, to make it easy on us guys, okay, here at the good old AT&T franchise, we will make them the easiest to dial on this phone ever. Okay, we're the ones coming up with them. Why not? Okay, we can make them just as easy as everybody else. Yeah. Okay, but we'll say we did it for them. Okay. So they were just like, yeah, 212. So easy. But anyway, so that's where the area codes actually came from. So it really goes from most populated cities to least populated cities. So if you look at a map, there's the map, okay? There's the map. Swiper, no swiping. So there's the map, okay? You can see all the area codes on that map. If you want to look at it more, you can pause it, zoom in. I know how this stuff works a little bit. But anyway, so that's the gist of it. AT&T made the area codes for one. So that is pretty weird to me, just because I would not have thought AT&T was the one making the area codes, really. But and then they went from most populated to least populated, and the easiest to dial on the rotary phones. Now you don't see a rotary phone unless you're at a museum, which is crazy, you know that? But that's what I forgot to mention too. So the invention of the rotary phone actually laid the groundwork for the cell phones we have today. You remember on if you're old enough to remember flip phones, like whenever you press the buttons and it made a sound like beep, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop. Or even on the credit card readers at the gas station, you go to pay, the money taker thingies at the cash register. So you know how those beep? Essentially, that's what laid the groundwork, was the rotary phones, because they implemented a kind of like beeping system, essentially like beep boop 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 boop. Ring, ring. I can't make that noise for some reason. Anyway, that's what they implemented, okay? So without the invention of the rotary phones, we probably wouldn't have their phones today, okay? At least for a little bit longer. Probably another, we would have them by now for sure. But yeah, thought that was very cool, guys. All right, stay knowledgeable, and if you have a question about how anything works, we have Google at our fingertips today for any question you want. And it makes it hard to really think of questions, think of stuff, because you're like, oh, if I ever need that information, I'll just look it up on Google. But anyway, hopefully I was entertaining enough for you today. All right, and don't forget to look up your area code and see how important it was in 1920s, okay? All right, take it easy, guys. Mwah. I love you guys, okay? Mwah.